they actually care. I know it's so surprising that they care about a human being, right? Today we're going to be talking about things that the company that I work for is doing. That is something that is creating that positive culture that people want to work for, and that's why people stay in that organization for years. Sometimes they even move from the competition to that organization because of those practices. So if you're interested what companies can do and what some of them are doing and it's normal for them, so then you can be feeling amazing in the company and feel like you're thriving and you enjoy your job, then stay tuned until the end of this video, because some things might be so surprising for you. For anyone new here, I'm Justina. I'm occupational psychologist, empowerment coach, and strategist performance. And I love optimization and fulfillment, and really nowadays live not to work, but live to enjoy my life and work to enjoy my life as well. And excuse things in the background because it's a cat room. But recently I started working for a global organization that surprised me, which I want to share with you because certain things can be mind-blowing. Actually, companies do that and then they influence a better performance, a positive culture, and a better well-being of employees. And it's not just, oh, you just say it this way. Of course, they want you to be happy and whatever, and they don't do anything, and they tell you that, yeah, of course, we care about you, but they don't. But actually, in this company, they mean it, and they don't have to say it. Often they don't have to say it because they show it in a different ways. So the first thing that this company does is that they do check in with you. That was maybe surprising, maybe not, but I'm working for a global team and the majority of people are all around the world, so we work remotely. And whatever surprised me is that people genuinely were checking on you and your mental health and well-being and how you're feeling, because they wanted to know, how are you finding the job? How is your onboarding process going? How you're feeling in general, also in your personal life. Maybe something is happening, maybe something that you want to share with. And they were acknowledging that we don't know each other for a very long time. So if I didn't want to share it, they were comfortable with that because they understood that creating a trust, it takes time, and certain people are less open than others. And I would say that I'm that person that is less open than others at the beginning because I'm a little bit skeptical and reserved at the beginning, and I need time of a little bit adjusting and maybe observing from the distance for a while, and then I'm just open and I don't have any problems with talking about any subject, personal or professional. The second thing that was surprising for me is me being encouraged to meet a lot of people. The first day at work, my manager literally told me to schedule plenty of meetings to meet absolutely almost everyone. And to my surprise, everyone was so welcoming. They had time to meet me even though they had a lot of busy things going on. But everyone was so eager. They were not wondering who is this person there, but they were really happy to meet, to get to know me, so that I can also get to know them and their role and how we can collaborate later on. And I felt like I am welcomed by people. It didn't matter what kind of level they are in the company. Some of them are really, really senior, but I felt like they are just super friendly and super warm, and each one of them, every single person, said that if I need something, please reach out to me. If you need to brainstorm or maybe throw ideas, then I am welcome to do so and contact them whenever. The third thing also connected with meeting and talking with people is that they were eager to talk about their personal life and ask me about personal life. And don't get me wrong, it was not in a very invasive and pushy way. It was coming as very caring, trying to get to know me, what's happening in my life, so then they can get a little bit of a background story about what stage of life I am in and what's interesting happening, or if anything is happening, how they can support me throughout this process, so then they can be aware as well that my work can be affected, or maybe I have some preferences to work or not work during certain periods of time, depending on the conditions that I would have going on in my personal life. And I feel that it's so comforting when somebody shares their details about their personal life, especially at the beginning, because then you can get to know a person on a deeper level. So I started at the beginning of this year, and the moment I met people were talking about their Christmas or New Year's Eve, what they have done during holidays. Some of the people literally were showing me photos with their families, what they were doing, and it was so nice that you feel like you're talking with a friend, just feel like somebody welcomed you to their life, which builds trust and connection and meaningful relations. You don't consider the people only to be your co-workers and colleagues, but more as a human being, and you see all those factors. And I find it amazing, because then the sense of belongingness increases, sense of purpose as well, and the deeper meaningful connection with your team, especially if it's a global team and we're working remotely. Another thing that was amazing and a little bit surprising was that they focused on feedback. And focusing on feedback, of course, it's not that surprising, because to improve or to achieve success, you want to measure how you're doing and get the feedback from as many sources as you can. But focusing on positive feedback was something that was really refreshing. The company is putting emphasis on growth and want people to make mistakes and learn on their own. So even though somebody would make a mistake, or somebody is failing, or they are trying and experimenting and it didn't work out, there will be a positive feedback regardless, that whatever you've done was interesting, refreshing, it was really innovating, I like this and like that. There is something that could be improved, and they are putting their perspective out there, so then you don't feel like you feel like you need to be defensive. You just feel that maybe they want to add something to your work to make it better. So you always get that positive feedback, and you feel like people take care of you and they want you to succeed. And if they, of course, they have a broader perspective, they're going to say it because they feel like that might be helpful for you, so you can maybe succeed faster or succeed better, or just make your work a little bit easier. Another thing that it's not surprising, but I think it's very uncommon, is that they let you live. They let you live your life. And what I mean by this is that they let you do your job, and they tell you about your responsibilities, and from that moment they trust you. That you're a human being, you are an adult, you want to work there. So nobody needs to micromanage you or check on you, or of course, if you need it, they will walk you through the process, but they will leave you alone. And for me, I think it's a really big green flag, because in the past I've been micromanaged, and I think that then my productivity goes so low, so badly, decreases, because I feel like then the person doesn't trust me, that I need to be checked on every single moment, and that makes me not even focus on my work, because what's the point if that person is going to check on me anyway later on. But in this case, so much independence really resonates with me. This is the environment that I thrive in. I feel like I'm being treated seriously, that they trust me, that if I don't know something, I will ask. If I need help, I will ask. But if I don't ask, then that means that I'm doing fine and I'm just doing my job. Everyone has their own schedule, everyone has their own responsibilities, and they trust me that I'm going to fulfill my responsibility. And I think that's the whole point of the job, that the moment you are hired, they give you the responsibilities, you want to work and you're doing your job. It doesn't matter how you're doing it, as long as it is right, successful and done on time. I wouldn't care about the process. Everyone has a different learning path, and I think that should be respected, that individuality. Next thing that is making this company have an amazing culture is the fact that people are trying to get to know each other and one another. There is so many assessments and psychometric tests, but also questions that people make to really understand, for example, your learning preference, your working preference. Perhaps if you are more social and you need more social contact, they check in on you all the time, but they also share a lot of things about themselves. So then you have a chance to know how to work with them better. You get to know their personality, you get to know their preferences, their values, and then you talk about it. You have like actual meetings about it, how we as a team, we can make it work if we have different personalities, different approaches, totally different values, how we can make the best out of it rather than the worst. Nobody's assuming that I am like you. Everyone is trying to figure out who I am or how I work, and then they share how they work or who they are, what they prefer. So then there is such a great communication. There is no hard feelings, there is nothing unspoken, and I feel like it's so clear, and because of other positive things that they're doing at the organization, you feel like you can speak up and you can voice your concerns but also preferences, and they will be welcomed. They understand the human differences. Of course, the organization is all about psychology and assessments and actually science, so I guess certain things are obvious, but for me it's so surprising that finally somebody did take it into consideration and they do understand the impact of it. They do understand that company is made out of people, so the moment that people are suffering, then the business is not going to do that great. And it is so refreshing that they do understand that, and they focus on their development, my development. They encourage me to focus, of course, on my development, and also another thing, aligning my personal development with my professional development, because they know that the moment that we can align my professional goals with also the goals in my personal life, then I will be more likely to pursue them, because they will be matching and aligning on all the platforms and aspects of my life. So it just makes sense that I will not be separating, that I need to be a different person here and I need to be a different person here. I can be the same person across all the aspects of my life, and I love it because I'm not only later on developing professionally, but it also aligns in what direction I want to go personally. And that was one of the things that was really, really surprising, because after I completed one of the certifications, my manager was already thinking about how I can use that certification that I gain at work, and of course I will be using it at work, but how I can also start using it in my other aspects of life. I am also a self-employed empowerment coach, and I have a YouTube channel, I have my personal life. So they started already brainstorming how I can use those skills that I gained during the certification and also certification itself, how I can apply them to other aspects of my life. And that just amplifies the impact of my role and my job onto other aspects of my life. And it doesn't feel like I'm just working, but I'm also working on myself during the time that I'm actually doing my work. And I could keep on going and going. I think that there is so many aspects that I still haven't realized. But before we end this video, I want to mention one last thing that I think it's so surprising, especially nowadays. In the world when work feels like slavery, and you feel, or I feel like I need to work to survive, and work is just horrible. So the last thing is that they care about you living your life. There has been so many moments when one of the colleagues had a difficult situation and the management or other people, they were encouraging them to take the days off. They were giving them extra days off because they understood that life, family, friends, your free time, your mental health, your own health, other people's health in your life is more important than you doing your work. And I really agree with that. It really resonates with me that work is just a tool to do certain things that of course they can be fulfilling and meaningful and impactful and to make money as well, but it cannot take over other things. For me, family and close people and my health and other people's health and my mental health is definitely much more important than any job. And there had been instances that I left the job just because I couldn't stand it mentally. It was just so exhausting and so horrible that it was like, you know what, fuck it, it's so not worth it. I'm going to find a better job. And in this instance, I'm so surprised that people are encouraging. It doesn't come from colleagues, it comes from higher management, that they do encourage you to think about what's more meaningful. And at the end of the day, when you are on your deathbed, you're not going to be reminding yourself about all your business achievements. I think you will be reminding yourself about how you impacted people around you, what kind of connections you had with them, and how much meaningful time you were spending with them. So I think that that counts at the end of the day, not your fifth promotion or how much money you were making in that job or the other. So these are just few of the positive aspects or positive things that my workplace is cultivating to create that positive and healthy culture. I'm sure there is more, so if I find more, I will definitely make a video of that. And I will be also doing a video about potential negative things that people do at work or maybe company is encouraging to do. So then it negatively impacts everyone around and definitely yourself. So to stay tuned, subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you a little bit of hope that good places do exist. They might require a little bit of searching because I worked in a lot of companies that didn't cultivate all those things or even any of those things, and it was just like a pure slavery that nobody cared about anyone and they were surprised that their employees are not working and they are not productive. So I know that the other extreme, which is horrible, does exist and I do not agree with that, but by sharing that the good companies and the positive healthy culture does exist, I believe that I bring more attention to that. There is a solution, that those companies can still be successful and it doesn't mean that it has to be this way. So if you're interested in topics like that, definitely subscribe to my channel. But let me know in the comments down below what one thing, or maybe many, your company is doing that drives you crazy, or something that you appreciate. Maybe more freedom, maybe less freedom, maybe a lot of social meetings, or maybe no social meetings. I think it's such an individual thing, and I'll see you in the next video.